All we can do is try.
Yes, yeah.
Better slide in.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and see. Okay, let me try it out. All right. Bye.
If you don't mind, and then I can jump up. Hi, Maya.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember coming out great once. So I think when I first started or drafted it somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Very interested.
I know, I gotta do your thing.
When is it?
The 17th. Yeah.
What's up?
I gotta go over and reset my password.
Oh, like. I think we found the direction for the show. The company is going to pair the faces.
Maybe you should introduce
That's
yourself.
my probably not. It works in support for so long. Found Jerry things.
Hey, Matt, do you want to come here for a sec?
Sure. We're gonna alter it.
So it's on your thumbs up, right?
They're gonna discover Ryan down. Right.
Yeah, I was just trying to get it. I can't get it on thumbs up. It just kept
Shows you how
going.
to
That's why you're very.
Here, I'll give this back to you then. So you don't. You're welcome.
We're just gonna like they had to go.
Hello again.
How are you, Diane?
We're just gonna
Morning.
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 Who do we have?
David Smith, good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner. This is Austin Daly.
Good morning, Austin. Okay, are we live? Okay, ready? You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Morning, everyone. Ask you to please rise for the opening prayer and pledge allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, we call upon you this morning as we gather to conduct the business of the county. We are thankful that we can call upon you during any moment of the day. You've created in us a desire to have a relationship where we acknowledge, depend, and seek your guidance and wisdom daily. Today we celebrate the 70th anniversary of the National Day of Prayer. Proclaimed by President Harry Truman in 1952, and moved to the first Thursday in May by President Ronald Reagan. the National Day of Prayer is observed by millions across our great land. Our founding fathers recognized the importance of prayer in our Creator. May we also recognize the importance of prayer, not only on this day, but to incorporate it in our lives daily. This Sunday, we'll celebrate our mothers. We thank you for creating our mothers with a combination of gifts and talents. The love and sacrifice that a mom provides for her child is like no other. Her time, perseverance, and flexibility to do 10 things at once is a testament of their love. We ask you to be with the single moms who need your arms of a father's love around them to guide them. For those moms who never had the blessing of bearing children, but whose love and nurturing is priceless to that child they raise, we ask for strength and grace. You command us to honor thy mother, and we do that with respect and love each day. For those mothers who have passed into eternity, we thank you for their lives, foundations, and the love their children received. And Father, this week we honor the parole and correction employees throughout the Commonwealth. Lord, we ask you to protect these dedicated professionals as they're committed to safe and secure institutions. Bless them in their difficult positions as they strive to protect the public and maintain the facilities that house over 73,000 inmates. Lastly, Lord, tomorrow is National Nurses Day throughout our communities. In 1982, President Reagan proclaimed May 6th to honor our nurses. The nurse is often the first and last person you'll see at a hospital or a medical appointment. The over 3 million working nurses make up the highest percentage of the U.S. healthcare. Nurses are more likely to suffer a back injury than a construction worker due to their work of lifting and moving patients. They often work long hours and have worked continuously through the pandemic in very dangerous conditions. Father, we thank you for the nurse whose dedication, compassion, and attention to detail make them the special people they are. We ask you to give them strength, good health, and rest as they care for others. Lord, we know that you're in control of everything and you're sovereign control. Guide us through this meeting with wisdom and clarification of what your will is for our community. These things we humbly ask in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everyone. We'll convene the Commissioners' public meeting at this time and ask for the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we'll have public comment on agenda items only at this time. Any from the audience? Any online?
Nothing online.
Okay. Hearing none, we have two proclamations today. And the first one would be 1.6.
Yep, the first one is Institutional Parole and Corrections Employee Week.
Okay. Whereas the Pennsylvania's correctional system is the oldest in our nation, advancing from the original establishment in Philadelphia's Walnut Street Jail in 1773 and the Eastern Penitentiary in 1829, and whereas the Pennsylvania system, as it became known, was the principal influence in the development of penology throughout the 19th century and set in motion modern corrections. And whereas today, Pennsylvania faces continued difficult challenges in corrections. With 23 state correctional institutions, 1 training academy, 1 motivational boot camp, 2 central office buildings, 14 community correction centers, 40 contract facilities, 63 county prisons and jails, and 10 federal facilities and offices. Our correctional facilities house approximately 73,350 inmates. And whereas the secure and safe operation and management of those facilities rest in the hands of nearly 31,500 trained, skilled, and devoted correction professionals. They are correction administrators, business administrators. They're food and service specialists, computer technicians, reentry specialists, parole agents, parole supervisors, administrative positions, planners and research analysis, and skilled craftspeople upon whose skills, efficiency, and professionalism that the Pennsylvania correctional system relies heavily upon. And whereas, although each of these dedicated professionals works in a different field and specializes in a specific area, they are all committed to one common goal: the secure, safe, and humane operation of our Commonwealth's correctional facilities, where the employees work to lessen future crime through the delivery of programs and guidance to try diligently to change the individual criminal behavior. And whereas beginning in 2020, the Commonwealth was faced with its first public health pandemic emergency in over 100 years with the detection of COVID-19. Individuals who work in the parole and correctional field demonstrate exceptional levels of dedication to protecting the health and welfare of all the inmates, prisoners, parolees, and reentrants, and each other across the Commonwealth, and continue to do so today. Now, therefore, the Commissioners of Lycoming County hereby proclaim the week of May 1st through the 7th, 2022, as Institutional Parole and Corrections Employee Week in Lycoming County. We encourage all citizens to recognize the crucial role these dedicated professionals play in ensuring the effective operation of our Pennsylvania correctional system in the interest of public safety. In witness whereof, we have set our hand and seal on this 5th day of May 2022. Signed by Lycoming County Commissioners Scott Metzger, the Chairman, Tony Messere, Vice Chairman, and Richard Marabito, Secretary.
Ron? Thank you, Commissioners. It's my honor to accept this on behalf of the men and women who work at the Lycoming County Prison and the Pre-Release Center. Institutional Parole and Correctional Employee Week. Very important to us and very important to Lycoming County and Pennsylvania. Correctional employees encompasses a lot, as you mentioned in there. We start with our correctional officers, the resident supervisors at the pre-release center, and the security supervisors. These are dedicated professionals. They work tirelessly to support the mission of the Lycoming County Prison, and they do that with the utmost integrity. As you mentioned in the proclamation, COVID has created a lot of difficult situations for not just Lycoming County Prison, but prisons throughout the Commonwealth and throughout the country. The crux of that is we've had to continue our operations. Prisons didn't have an opportunity to close their doors because of COVID. So in spite of all those complications, we've continued to operate, regardless of the issues concerning the health concerns and the staffing issues. But getting into talking about institutional correctional employees, it's not just correctional officers. The prison is a unique environment that is almost like a city in and of itself. We have maintenance staff, we have counselors and treatment staff, there are bail release staff, medical staff, food service staff. Out at the pre-release center, we have work crew foremen. And at both facilities, we have administrative and clerical staff, and that doesn't even include the volunteers that come in and provide services to Lycoming County. These are professionals that deserve this recognition, and they work very hard at their jobs and do them very efficiently. These jobs require a high attention to detail, because the ultimate goal is, as was stated in the proclamation, is to provide care, custody, and control of the inmate population and the people who work within those buildings, but also to provide the safety and security for the community. And hopefully that's never lost within Lycoming County, that we understand that important function. They work in a very dangerous environment. They handle adversity on a daily basis, and they're constantly dealing with change. The one thing that we try to do, we try to maintain the routine of the county prison, but we all know that we have to adjust as the environment makes us adjust. These professionals, and some of them are here today, they perform these duties with honor. and commitment. They are committed to their jobs. They're committed to Lycoming County, and they're committed to the residents. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the Lycoming County Prison Board, the Lycoming County Commissioners, the Lycoming County Courts, and the other Lycoming County departments that we work with very closely on a daily basis, along with the agencies outside of the county, outside of county government that we partner with. We couldn't do the job that we do without them. And I couldn't be the warden of the county prison without the fine staff that are here today and the people that are currently operating in that building. In recognition of this week, we will be holding a meal for the staff. That will be next Tuesday at the county prison and next Thursday at the pre-release center. And it's to show our support of them, to show that we acknowledge what they do. I'm proud of the work that they do on a daily basis, and I personally wish to thank all of the correctional employees in Lycoming County for their efforts.
Thank you. I too, as a testament, working in that field for 30 years, and we have the sheriff and probation here, their departments as an extension because they interact with them every day too. They are the best of the best, they're professionals, and I dealt with them daily. And I can't say enough good things about it. It's been a difficult time through the pandemic. We're short-staffed. We worked mandatory overtimes. It's been extremely exhausting physically and mentally to those guards and those workers in the institution. It's not just an isolated problem, it's a national problem. I've talked to state prisons and federal prisons that are going through the same thing. But it's very difficult to maintain a family and a life when you don't know when you go in to work when you're going to go home because of mandated overtime. Because the prisons have to be manned. And last night I had this sent to me. Let me see if I can find it here. If you know a correctional officer, thank them for they're truly the unsung heroes of law enforcement. Remember, these are the men and women that stand between you and society's worst nightmares. Not only do they have the most dangerous jobs in law enforcement, here are a few facts about them. Correctional officers have the second highest mortality rate of any occupation. 33.5% of assaults in prisons and jails are committed by inmates against staff. A CO's 58th birthday, on average, is their last. A CO will be seriously assaulted at least twice in a 20-year career. On the average, a CO will live only 18 months after their retirement. Sadly, COs have a 39% higher suicide rate than any other occupation. They have a higher divorce and substance abuse rate in the general population. And it's because the conditions that you work in, and thank God we have individuals like you that take on this very challenging profession and work it daily. And we can't thank you enough.
Yeah, I'd like to add that I hope you're not part of our recruiting team, but.
These are facts of what these individuals go through. It's a tough occupation. It is. It takes a special person. When we met with the guards last week, we thanked them. And it takes a special person.
It does.
To work inside an institution.
Unfortunately, our prison isn't as dangerous as some of the maximum security prisons at the federal level. We definitely, go ahead, Commissioner, I don't want to interrupt you. We're encouraging people to
We did
look at a
have
career.
a good meeting with some of the staff, and I'm always impressed by, and I've told you this 100 times, how dedicated the warden is and the deputy wardens are to the overall picture of the correctional system and the prison. Because I couldn't do your jobs. It's that difficult to maintain that kind of dedication and commitment and concentration. I mean, it's serious business. And when we talked with some of the employees there, staffing is an issue. And hopefully there's some solutions here in the future. And we talked to the chamber this week, and they talked about how applications are being filled out now. And jobs, we're starting to fill some of those vacancies, which is a good sign. Okay, but after talking to a number of the COs, forced overtime is difficult. They're sitting there, they have families, especially single mothers or single fathers. We saw that there as well, where they got forced 5 times. And why would you want to stay? So that's our number one goal, is to fill those vacancies. And we're going to do everything in our power to do so here in the very near future. So Jessica's part of that team and that effort, and we hope to help them out as soon as possible. So.
Warden, I thought you hit the nail on the head when you said that the county jail or any jail is a microcosm of our community. And it's a reflection. It's a reflection of our community, a reflection of our society. It's interesting to me, as I've learned, how the Quakers, when they first established the penitentiaries, thought that solitary was a great way for people to reflect on what they had done. And they thought it was something positive. And we now know through decades of research that solitary is very destructive. And we do everything we can to try to eliminate it, both at the federal, state, and the local prison. A second example, we used to just think that, once people go to prison, that's it, they're done. We now understand that reentry is possible, that we can retrain people, that there are things we can do to keep people. And this county's done a lot in terms of the program with GEO, in terms of the reentry in the prison, in terms of our efforts to engage the community, a broad-based community, in an effort to understand that people who do go to prison make a mistake, but they can be valuable members of society. And finally, just to young people or even to other people who are thinking about changing their career, it is no question that Commissioner Metzger's remarks are on target in terms of the statistics. Every prison is different, and this community and this prison is a place where people can make an impact on people's lives, even if it's in the day-to-day treatment. And we heard this from the correctional officers. When they come in, the day-to-day treatment of how they treat people makes an impact on somebody, especially if somebody's had a life of, and I'm not feeling sorry for people who go out and commit violent crimes. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I'm talking about is that when people grow up with violence and they grow up with abuse in their family and in their relationships, that's what they think is the norm. And so when they get into, whether it's a correctional facility or a job or something where people treat them with respect and where people have expectations of them and hold them accountable, but at the same time with respect, people in our community who want to work in our prison can do that. They can make a difference in people's lives. And they may not know it immediately, but after being there for 5 or 10 years, they're going to realize, and we heard that from the correctional officers, that they have impacted people's lives. When they go out and they see people on the street who are now working, who are now making productive lives, they can say, you know what, when that person was incarcerated, I did something to try to change it. So I would encourage people, we will solve the staffing problem. When we solve it, we will solve the forced overtime. It is a matter of us time and us doing some things. And the three of us, along with all the staff and the correctional officers themselves, have told us what the solutions are to the problems, and we're going to try to find a way to implement them. But I would highly encourage people, we need you to step up. It requires starting out with a high school degree. In fact, I was at the Career and Technical Center last Thursday, and I was going to comment on this later, but in the Justice program, there's an opportunity for us to get young kids from high school. Obviously, we can't stick them in the jail all the time, but what we can do is arrange opportunities for them to say, look, this is a path for me in career and correction. So we really encourage them, all three of us encourage you and the public to step up. If you don't have a job, hopefully you don't have a criminal record, okay, we want you to come down and apply. Thank you. Thanks to all the correctional officers and the staff for what you do.
Thank you, Commissioners. The statistics are a stark reality of what occurs in these facilities, but it is a good occupation. It's stable employment, and working in county government, there's a lot of benefits to working in county government, and we're doing our best to try to sell that to people and make them understand that we do need the help, but it's also something that they can be helping themselves. There's a give and take here, and you mentioned a good point. And everybody's life has a story, and And what part are you going to play in that story?
Right.
It might only just be a small part, but is that going to be a part of the story that's positive and leads to positive change, or is it going to be negative? And we control all of that. So, thank you again. I really appreciate your recognition.
Warren, I used to get asked the same question, and I'm sure the sheriffs get, that our probation staff, they say that's the same question, I'm sure the people in the corrections. Why do you do what you do? Seriously, I've had people say, why are you wasting your time? And I used to say, these are human beings. Only by the grace of God could be one of us. And we're making a difference. You guys make a difference. You're serving the public, and if you can help one person turn their life around, it's worth it. And Jim's back there. Those thank yous are few and far between, but when you hear them, it's rewarding. And that's why we do what we did. What I did for 32 years and what you guys do, the reason why you do it. You go to work every day to serve the public, and you know you're making a difference. So thank you.
Thank you.
We have the proclamation link to hand to you for the picture.
Okay.
And the rest of the staff, come up, please, and get in the picture. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, I was just waiting.
Stay in the back, too.
Can you put her through?
Mary, stay in the back.
Thank you.
I saw your email. Oh, yeah, crap, okay.
It's been hectic.
Yeah, so
here.
that's done. All for yes now.
Appreciate all the help.
Yeah, no, I just
Anybody else?
I had to look back through my part-time track and figure out exactly.
1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to get back to work.
Sorry, I walked you way out.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, actually, who's at the prison now?
That's right. We're all going to get back to work. Thank you.
Yeah, I took the shoes.
No, it's like a prison. That's the best part. It is really nice.
The next proclamation you have is Law Day in Lycoming County.
Okay, proclamation. Whereas Law Day, first held in 1958, was established in the United States and exemplifies the merits of our court system. And whereas Law Day affords citizens the opportunity to reflect on our country's judicial system, a system that provides a forum for the peaceable resolution of disputes among citizens, permits citizens to obtain indemnification of their grievances, even grievances against the government itself, and provides extensive protection of the defendant to protect against the possibility of unjust imprisonment by an overzealous government, a system which seems preferable to an unchecked government which cannot be held to account. And whereas Law Day is observed in our community with activities which include honoring Law Day essay and art winners, presentations by local government officials and judicial representatives, and celebrations of our court system. Now, therefore, the Board of Commissioners of the County of Lycoming proclaim Thursday, May 5th, 2022 as Law Day in the County of Lycoming and encourage citizens to recognize the advantages of our judicial system and to support all those who are intricately involved in our court system and who strive towards justice for all. In witness whereof, we have set our hand and seal the 5th day of May, 2022, signed Lycoming County Commissioners Scott L. Metzger, Chairman, Tony R. Messere, Vice Chairman, and Richard Marabito, Secretary. And I believe we have Judge Fry here.
Fry, come up, please. Morning.
Morning, thank you. Initially, on behalf of the Lycoming Law Association, thank you for the recognition and the proclamation. We appreciate that. Just very briefly, every year here in Lycoming County, we celebrate Law Day with an art and essay contest open to all school-age children here in Lycoming County, including homeschool children. And this year's theme is called Toward a More Perfect Union, the Constitution in Times of Change. And we celebrate tomorrow at the courthouse. We will have the winners of our art and essay contest present their respective submissions. In the last 10 years or so that I've served as chairman of the Law Day Committee, I've always looked forward to and enjoyed that part of the Law Day, especially because the creativity and talent of our school-age children here in the county is really incredible. So, but as always, we appreciate the commissioner's support and recognition of Law Day. So, thank you.
We appreciate the time that you put into it as well. It's one of the events that I always look forward to because it is amazing when you think of the thought process that these students have in writing out their essays and doing their artwork. It's incredible, and it gives us hope. You know, I mean, we hear so many negative things about our youth today. Well, come to where we're at, and you're going to say, wow, these kids are awesome. And they put a lot of time and a lot of effort into it as well. So thanks for everything that you do.
Likewise, and I just to echo that, I think, you know, in the last group of people that you had here and myself on the bench, you know, a lot of times in our daily routine, we see the worst side of people and even children, some of the juveniles and truancy cases and things. And so the Art Day celebration, as you indicated, is a great reminder that that's not all that we have going on here in the county.
And when we see our schools across the nation taking civics out of the schools and not learning about government and law, it's great and encouraging to see that it's being honored in Lycoming County, that the kids are learning about government, they're learning about the law. And I've attended many law days, and they're fun to watch. The kids, they're excited. The judges come in and they listen about different aspects of the law that the judges discuss, and just watching being educated on the foundation of our country.
Yeah. And I agree, and I think that also, you know, not only the students, the children, but the teachers and the parents that show up, and you can just see the pride that they exude, and it is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
You know, Judge, I think it's important for us not to take anything for granted in life, but especially the judicial system. And it's not perfect. Believe me, from having practiced law and from having studied law and having traveled in other countries. But what it does provide is an opportunity, especially again to young people who are looking for work, because you can come to our county and you can work in the judicial system. You know, you can come here and there's ways to start in one place and eventually run for office as a judge or work as a lawyer, and even those who don't have law degrees but who have a paralegal degree and so forth. There's an opportunity to come to the county and work. And what I would say is the challenge is each generation's challenge is to try to improve the problems that we see in our legal system. You know, just like each generation's problem is to try to improve what we see in our economic system that doesn't work and in our social systems. And so if we look at it that way, I think that we can appreciate the fact that, we do have habeas corpus, right? I mean, you can, and there are cases you will read of innocent people who have gone to prison, innocent people have been executed. But for the majority, we have habeas corpus. We have an opportunity to protect the civil and criminal rights of people. But we have to work at it. We have to work at it. Nothing is free, right? There's no free lunch. And but I do thank you for bringing the day and the involvement of the kids and so forth.
Absolutely, and again, I really appreciate and thank all of you, because every year you're very supportive and attend, and we do appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got a picture with you with the proclamation?
Yeah.
Be great.
One, two, three.
And for anyone in the audience or in general public who'd like to attend the Law Days ceremonies tomorrow at 4 o'clock in courtroom 1 over at the courthouse. Okay.
All right, the next item, 1.7, it's our nonprofit informational series, what they do for you. And today we have Central PA Food Bank and Joe Arthur.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
You just come up to the podium, introduce yourself, and thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Commissioners Metzger, Masser, and Marabito, good to see you again. And thank you for the special relationship that our organization, the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, has with the County of Lycoming. We appreciate it. With me today is Jen Correlja, who is our agency engagement manager at our Williamsport hub, which is just on the west end. She's going to handle the tough questions. I do have, for the commissioners, and an extra one, just some folders with some of our services, just so you have it in the office. And at any time, if you would like us to prepare something for the county website, anything like that, we would love to do that. So you don't have to do all the work. But do I hand them on?
Great.
Thank you.
I think the most important items to get on the public record is really a little bit about Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, how we serve with a network of partner agencies right here in Lycoming County, but also in 27 counties in Central Pennsylvania. But our northern hub is right here in Lycoming County. So we serve in kind of a hub and spoke way. So we have in Lycoming County over 100, we call them partner agencies, community organizations that are working right on the ground to make sure people have enough healthy food every day. Some of the partners that you might be familiar with, American Rescue Workers, Antioch Baptist Church, United Churches Food Pantry, the West End Food Pantry, Footprints, Sunlight House, Salvation Army, West End Christian Community Center, and the New Love Center, and about 90 more, which I won't read off today. Those that I just shared by name actually participate in the State Food Purchase Program, which is a state-funded program that is administered by the counties. So we work with the County of Lycoming on that program, as well as something we call the Pennsylvania Agricultural Surplus System, which again is a state-funded program that allows us to rescue wonderful produce and other local farm product, including dairy, milk, cheese, and the like, meats, other proteins. So the PASS program helps us, but the Central Penn Food Bank is a private charitable organization. We are primarily privately funded and privately resourced. Generally, about 80% of our support comes from giving, volitional giving. So people, businesses, foundations, and the like who are supporting the mission, as well as food. Most of our food comes from food businesses that we have long-term relationships with, from farm to fork and everywhere in between. So growers, other producers in agriculture, larger ones because of our scale. The vendors that sell to the grocery system, commercial distributors of produce, of course our dairy farms, dairy processors, all of those are both donors and suppliers to the food bank. Last year, like everybody, the pandemic was challenging. Of course, it was most challenging for people, so I will share that during the, call it the heaviest year of the pandemic, when businesses shut down and the like, we had a 40% increase in the amount of people that we were serving. Thankfully, we are much recovered from that time period, but we are not done yet. So I will share that the food bank and our partners are facing kind of a secondary crisis, and you probably can guess what it is, cost inflation. And by crisis, I mean at the household level. So we are starting to see an increase again in the amount of calls, the amount of food that's needed, and the like. Very important for us to put on record how people can reach us. So Central Pennsylvania Food Bank easily reached by probably the two modes that are most used. So the internet, centralpafoodbank.org, and we have a find help feature, and folks can access that from a mobile phone. That is zip code based, so you put your zip code in and it'll deliver a listing of our local partners that will have hours and other important information. Our job is to provide food and grant money and other resources to our partner agencies, but primarily we serve by supporting our partners so they can serve right at street level. The second way to reach us is we do have a helpline, 877-999-5964, and we have live people that handle that helpline. It's well staffed, and in this environment they actually work from home. We have them all wired in with technology, but they can help people find a pantry, find food services right now, people that are in need, but also help them sign up for benefits like supplemental nutrition assistance benefits and other benefits for folks that are struggling with food. So we do that service as well, and we do it, we actually do the application online. Competing with a Harley, I think. Sounds like a Harley.
How can you miss it?
We also help people by doing their application if they need that, because it's a very challenging application. And we do that all right online, and then track their applications through the system. So I did want to leave time for questions for the commissioners. That's the kind of an overview of what we do. I am proud to say that when I first started with Central Penn Food Bank, and I'm based out of Harrisburg as the executive director, we had 2 employees in our Williamsport hub, and it was downtown. It was actually by the scrapyard. We moved out of that and acquired our own facility on the West End, out by the UPS facility. And with the help of this community, we made a big investment, expanded the facility, and we now have, I believe, 24 people working just over on the West End in our, what we call our Williamsport Healthy Food Hub. Proud of that, but know that you have a great team right here in Williamsport serving the county and the counties that are surrounding Lycoming. With that, I'll stop and ask for questions, if any.
Not a question, Joe, but I've been to your facility. I've been up to, I had the opportunity to go to the Matoursville basketball team with Coach Messina and Coach Wise with the kids. And it was important to teach the kids about, there's people in the area that don't have food. And the kids were packaging, the team packaged the food. They had new appreciation for the individuals that go without food each day. And as the older kids would tell the younger kids about this is, the younger kids were, what are you up there for? The older kids are, this is really cool, and this is important. You'll see after you do it once. And they fed into it once they got into it. It was, you have a phenomenal staff, and it's a beautiful facility. In any way we can support it. When I worked next door, we used to do food drives. This is something that's very near and dear to my heart. I don't think there should be anyone in this country go without food. And we're the most richest and prosperous country in the world, and we have to make sure that our neighbors have food. It's the basic necessity of life, besides breathing. And we have to make sure that people have food and are able to survive.
Scott, I just want to say I've seen from my house, the Love Center, Jersey Shore, the food, people lined up for food sometimes 2 blocks deep. Cars just waiting.
Yeah.
And the volunteers I've seen pictures of coming out. And I think one thing that you should do in your mailings, you will point out how like a $25 contribution, $50 contribution, how many meals that contribution will buy someone. I think that's an important thing that you should point out.
I appreciate that. And it's 6 meals we're able to share for every $1. So that math applies. $25 would be 150 meals. But I appreciate that comment. We do put that in some of our fundraising, but we probably should do that more. Thank you.
And our youth, we have kids that don't have food, backpack programs in the schools. It's amazing to hear how many kids have backpacks that go home with them on Thursdays and Fridays, so they have food for the weekend. And you know, my mother and father lived through the Depression. My mom was a young girl at the time, and she had instilled in me that as a young girl, when there's a knock on your door, and it's a gentleman who's out of work looking for bread and soup, and she was one of 3 girls, and they're inviting that person in for a cup of soup and a piece of bread. That stayed with me the rest of my life. And I thought, we don't ever go back to that era of time. So we have to make sure that like you said, the cost of food is going up. There's a lot of people out there suffering. We have to do what we can do. And if you have the means to help, please help in any way you can.
Money.
You know, even if it's the food drive, the Boy Scouts are putting a can of food on your porch so they can pick it up. Any way you can help, please try to help so people don't go without food.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Metzger. And that food drive for the National Letter Carriers is actually coming up as well. And we actually steer that food to our local partners, like directly. It's really a great way to make sure that it gets used like immediately locally, and they depend on it as well. I appreciate those comments. We agree our longtime vision is no one should be hungry. We all live in the breadbasket of Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania. We're blessed, but it isn't always about food. There's plenty of food. Our job is to make sure we're diverting food that might not have a market and the like, and you know, reducing waste and all of those things are important, but it has to be healthy food. And being blessed where we are, I will say that one of our big pandemic learnings is more local sourcing. You know, we all saw what happened across the country with, you know, concentrated supply lines. When they're disrupted, really bad things happen. We saw that in the grocery store and the like. And I think now that's part of what we're recovering from. So we just started what we call a farm program. We've, as a food bank, at scale, have worked with very large farms and orchards, like Dry's Orchards and the like. But we're working with our partners on the ground who need less volume to work with their local farms. And then we're finding them grant money to be able to offer the farmer something to get it out of the field or to get it processed if it's milk. So we are really ramping that up. So another service is on the ag side. If you have farms or farmers that might be interested in that, reach out to us. We want to hear about that as well. Yeah, I was going to say that those state programs, the Ag Surplus Food and the other one, are a very important part of keeping our agricultural community with a market to be able to move its food. And actually, we have someone we have the director of the Conservation District with us today, Matt Long, and we can certainly bring it up at the Conservation District meeting and see if there's a way for us to communicate to the farmers that are not participating that it's an opportunity for them. I think the other point that you made about the waste is amazing. I forget, what is the figure on how much Americans throw out every day food? It's tens of billions over a year. Yeah, it's millions a day. Yeah, it's incredible, and so some of it is just making the system, as you said, making the system work properly in an imperfect market and so forth. So thank you all for what you do. We appreciate it. Thank you, Commissioner Maravito.
Any questions from the audience? Okay, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your information and the service you provide to our county, and Jen, the wonderful staff that you have.
Thank you.
Jen, what do you have to say?
I'll answer any of your questions. I wanted to say, and they left, I have a son that works in corrections. So I really appreciated what you did to have that week for them, because I have a great respect for law enforcement and the corrections and how difficult of a job that is. So that was just on its side, on its own, right there. But no, we as a food bank, we have we not only have a mission, but we have goals, and we are working every day to figure out the best way to serve our community and the communities in every county. We have some new initiatives coming down the road on how to map what areas truly need to be filled, have those gaps filled as far as serving the communities. And we have Feeding America that has awesome tools that we're being able to share with our partners. And we just truly appreciate the support that you, the Lycoming County, have been able to provide us and allow us to serve with the state food funding. And just having that positive response from you is very greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any hard questions for Jim?
Well, here's one question. You said it was privately supported. So do you have a rough idea, like the breakdown of 20% comes from companies, 50% comes from individuals? What?
I could take that one. Similar to most nonprofits, individual giving is usually your largest. And maybe a lot of folks don't realize that, but just individual givers. And that's true for us, too. We get wonderful support from our businesses and foundations. Those tend to get in the news more because they might be a bigger gift. But over 60% of our funding comes from just folks wanting to help, and many of them on a regular basis.
Good, I'm glad I asked that then, because I actually thought it was the other way around. And so it's important for people to understand that the $25 or $35 they send you makes up the bulk of your funding.
Now, on the food side, it's the businesses with our scale, that's, the vast majority of the food comes from food businesses and farmers.
Right.
I look at this as another spoke on the wheel. If we add all the spokes together, we'll come up with the solutions to some of the problems that our state has. And today, we're going to be voting on a resolution to ask the state to fund more for our mental health. And I may be going off track here, but I'm not.
That's a big deal.
Okay? How often does your organization work with state legislators to find solutions to the human services needs, not just in your specific arena, okay? Why I say that is because that's going to be part of the solution of the funding in the future, because it's unsustainable what's happening now. When we see children with access cards, food access cards, go into convenience stores, buy chips, soda, and have a balance on that card. They're 12 years old. Have a balance on that card of $1,600, and that's in a month. That's money that we could be saving with organizations that if they put their heads together, here's where you buy your food, okay? We could save millions and millions of dollars, which then could be turned into funding other needed sources. So, how often do you work with your
So our advocacy, of course, we center most of it around the food issue and hunger. But we're at the table with a lot of human services organizations. We serve them through the food programs in large part, but many of them are providers or somehow working, in this case, with mental health services, including the counties. So we're pretty up to speed on how huge an issue, particularly with the pandemic, and the challenge for people to actually get sufficient health services. Personal experience, I have an adult daughter who is bipolar. So we're blessed because of what I do and the benefits the food banks provide. So we've been able to keep services up. That's not true for everybody. It's been very challenging. And then that leads to other things in their life that cost them jobs, or it's hard to work when you're not dealing with your mental health challenges. So we do, I'll say, get involved. We're not out there in front, but we're supportive of organizations that are working across the human services spectrum. It really is a crisis.
Well, you also, when you alluded earlier, healthy food is critical. I mean, there's a relationship between what you eat and what happens in your brain and what happens in the rest of your body, and from the physical health. And I think that's something that the food bank has really emphasized. And when you go to the food bank, you can see that it's healthy food. It's, it's encouraging. I mean, it doesn't mean eating something that's not healthy is a terrible thing to do. I think I've been known to do that from time to time. But the point is that your focus is on healthy food and as much as possible from local sources.
And if you need 3 chefs in the future, we're always available.
Okay, your name's it down.
All right.
Well, we went to the food bank in the last term, and it shows you how really careful they are. They cooked this wonderful meal, but we couldn't eat it. We helped cook this wonderful meal. We couldn't eat it because under federal regulations, we were not a target community. So Commissioner Messier and I and McKernan cooked this wonderful chicken meal. And we were going to sit down and eat it, and they said, you can't touch that.
You have to give it to a partner.
Yeah, because which was good. It was good to know that you follow the rules and that you don't.
Are you allowing the groups to come in and package the food again?
We have volunteer
Yes.
groups coming in now, and
Good.
we've kind of bumped that up a little bit
Good.
more. So if you have a group you want
Good.
to reach out to Jason at the food bank, and he'll set up a time for you. We're just starting to get a little bit more out and about, doing events and even figuring out what that looks like on the whole. But if you have a volunteer group, bring them on in. Bring your correctional officers in.
It'd be great. We had another team there that night, and there was a competition between the 2 teams, and who was going to do better, and it was neat. Because then they made friendships too.
Yeah.
It was a nice night.
Yeah.
It always is.
It's a good experience.
Yeah, it is.
Well, thanks for what you do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tom.
I do have a question. Are there any red flags or any measures to take to make sure people don't become dependent on the system? Where you might have some able-bodied people and are just on it because it's they're used to. Is there any way to spot that type of thing, or?
Yeah, I wouldn't look at that as, something for us to focus 95% of our time on. But what we are doing is we're working with our partners around root cause work. So trying to help people, families, get to sustainability, thrive, not need that assistance. Now that's a pretty big ecosystem, right? Depends on the economy and all of that. But if we're at the table and other organizations are at the table, there's a better chance of kind of plugging the gaps or finding the resources that help, overcome some of the obstacles that people are facing. Because that is the goal long term. Is we'd love to essentially put ourselves out of business. It may take a while, but root cause work is important to get there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And next week, we'll look forward to hearing from Wise Options. We'll be here joining us. Okay, next.
All right, next item, 2.1, Crystal Rogers for opening of the following bid, which is an invitation bid for drainage work at the White Deer Golf Course.
Okay.
Commissioners, I will let you know there's multiple items on this, so you won't see an overall cost.
Morning, Kristen.
Morning. There were 3 bidders for the drainage work at White Deer Golf Course: Extreme Golf Management, George E. Lay Company, and U.S. Pitch Care LLC. And this is one that didn't have a total price because of multiple items.
Yeah, there's multiple.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Enjoy your day.
You too.
Thanks.
Next, 3.1, we have Randy Clemens, vote to approve the accounts payable cash department report.
Morning, Brandy.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here to present for your ratification the invoices due through May 11th, 2022 that were paid on May 4th, 2022, in the amount of $922,159.72. We had one invoice for $102.14 that ended up being a duplicate that we removed. Of that, approximately $432,843.21 were general funds, $406,223.45 were grants and other sources, and $73,195.20 belong to the landfill covered by their profits.
Okay. Do you have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
A second.
Any questions?
Yes, there was one, I don't remember which page it was, and I did write it down, but I think it said the coroner.
Okay.
It was on page 3. I think it was page 3. It was like $16,000 some dollars
For the
to
coroner?
sell Tellusoft.
Oh, that was the pathonetary.
That was the pathonetary. Okay, never
Yep.
mind.
The name of the department's underneath, not on top, so it is easy to look and say, oh, I think that's the coroner, but
All
it's the
right.
pathonetary. It's for their software.
Okay, understood then.
Yep.
Okay.
Was that it?
That's all.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. So carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks.
Next, item 3.2, we have Jessica Seagraves. It's vote to approve the personnel actions report for the month of April.
Morning, Jessica.
Good morning, Commissioners. I have a copy for all of you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have the April action items for your approval. We hired 2 maintenance workers, 2 truck drivers for RMS, 3 clerks across the county, 2 custodians, 2 corrections officers, a telecommunicator trainee, an EMS training coordinator, support supervisor, an admin specialist for the controller's office, and a deputy sheriff.
So how many openings do we have now? Do you know off the top of your head if you don't?
I don't know off the top of my head. The last I looked, as we're working on the new applicant tracking system, we were about 43 openings.
Okay.
And that actually only counts 1 corrections officer because we only have one posted at a time.
Right.
So that's 43 plus the 16 openings at the prison.
So it's really more like 59.
Yeah,
Wow.
right.
Which is over 10% of our workforce. We have about 550 full-time people.
Correct.
Okay. Well, if you're looking for a job, come and apply at Indeed.com, right?
Absolutely.
Career link.
Indeed, career link. You can visit our website, and our job postings are listed right there. So visit our job posting. Feel free to reach out to our human resources department at careers@lyco.org with any questions or interest in our openings.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And Jess, can you make sure the media gets a copy?
Yes, I will. I have copies for the back table.
Thank
Yes. Is there any way I could?
Yeah, we can skip
I was
to
going to say
action
thank
items,
you.
if that's okay, so she can go.
That would be great.
Yep, so we'll skip to 5.1. It's a vote to approve the amendments to the following health and benefits plans.
Right, so 3 of our benefit plans were outdated and not in compliance with regulations in regards to our mental health benefit. So we are changing our mental health benefit to be in compliance with the regulations. So we will mirror our PCP benefit, so currently, if you go to a mental health visit, that visit would hit our deductible. And so this change would essentially mirror the PCP visits, and there would be a $10 copay instead. So pretty significant change and a great benefit to our employees. So that change would be effective for the employee benefit plan, the prison union plan, and the pre-release union plan.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Any further questions for the director?
No, I think when you say PCP, you're talking about the primary care physician.
Correct.
Right? So
A
just
regular visit.
as you would go now, if you weren't feeling well, you can go with a $10 copay
Correct.
to see a mental health doctor, mental health visit.
Right, and what was happening, we got feedback from employees that they would go see their primary care physician, talk to them about mental health concerns, and then that visit would then not be covered under the PCP $10 copay. It would just all hit the deductible. So this change is going to be a great benefit for our employees.
Yeah, it's very important in light of what happened with COVID. Even without COVID, it's important, but in light of what happened. So that meant that people were being referred by their PCP to a mental health person, and they might be charged $150, $175 or more.
Right.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
Okay, all fair side.
Aye.
So carried.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mario.
Yep, you're welcome. All right, we're going to go back to informational items. 4.1, we have Christian Boyer doing a presentation on the deer tick virus.
Good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. Thanks for the opportunity to come here and speak about the state's tick surveillance and testing program and some of the recent findings we had concerning deer tick virus.
Sure, yeah.
So I want to give you a little bit of an understanding of where the state program sits and what we do, and then some of the results that we have found statewide as well as here in Lycoming County. So the goal of the tick surveillance and testing program from DEP is to gain a better understanding of the density distribution, the abundance, and the expansion of tick populations in Pennsylvania. Not only the black-legged tick or the deer tick, but all other ticks, some ticks that are emerging in Pennsylvania and encroaching from the southern states. So we also want to understand the infection rates of these different species of ticks, especially the black-legged tick or the deer tick. We have our surveillance seasons broken down into two separate seasons, one targeting the black-legged tick adult stage, and then the other, the nymphal stage of the black-legged tick, because that is the tick that is most responsible for the transmission of some of these pathogens due to its very small size. So our primary focus, again, is the Ixodes scapularis tick, the black-legged tick, and the pathogens that it carries. We focus in on public use areas where people are most likely to come in contact with ticks. So county and municipal properties, state parks, state game lands, and state forest lands. Currently, we've sampled 72% of the state parks and 70% of the state forest lands in the Commonwealth. So again, our fall surveillance season is when we focus on the adult black-legged tick population. That occurs starting in October and can end even in the spring because they are active throughout the winter and into the springtime before that adult population disappears for the year and won't come out. The next generation will come out this following fall. On the screen, you see a whole host of pathogens that we test for. All of these pathogens can make us sick. The first one there, Borrelia burgdorferi, that is the Lyme disease spirochete. We also look for other things, anaplasma that makes people sick, Babesia makes people sick, a couple different Borrelia species that can cause Lyme disease, not only the primary one, but the secondary one, and then, of course, the deer tick virus, which causes Powassan virus in people. Second season, again, is the nymphal season, where we focus on the little guys, the black-legged tick nymphs, but that's where we also look for other ticks that are in the Commonwealth that are expanding, and just to get an idea of kind of the distribution and density of those ticks. So I should back up and say that we do cooperate with I work in the vector management program. We kind of piggyback off of the mosquito control program, the West Nile virus program, Lycoming County participates in that grant funding. We also provide grant funding and to Matt's office, the Lycoming County Conservation District, and they do this work for us. So you do have local representation collecting ticks and sending it to the Department of Environmental Protection's laboratory to be tested. So how do we do this work? We do the majority of this work by actually going to these public use areas and dragging for ticks. We have a 1 meter square felt drag that is white. We drag in the habitat that we know where we can find whatever tick we're looking for, depending on life stage and species of tick. We test we collect those, and then primarily the black-legged tick, we will send those to Harrisburg. They will be tested by a molecular laboratory to determine the presence of pathogens in those ticks. We also do some dry ice trapping. There are some species of ticks, none here in Lycoming County, that will actually seek out a host and will come to a host. They won't quest like these other ticks will, where they just hang out, wait for a host to come by and grab a hold of. We've had success on those different kinds of ticks to come to these dry ice traps, and then they'll be collected and tested if possible.
How does the dry ice trap attract them? It's the heat?
It's the carbon dioxide.
Okay.
So we use dry ice as our carbon dioxide source, and that's what mosquitoes hone in on, and ticks as well will hone in on your breath, your carbon dioxide that you exhale, and then they'll come, especially the ones that we're focusing on in the dry ice traps, then they'll come in and actually come to that CO2 source. So just a few results here that I want to share with you. You can see on the map, that's all of our nymphal black-legged tick testing sites or sampling sites. Last year, we collected around 4,500 adult black-legged ticks, and you can see our infection rate in the adult population is 58% for Lyme disease, 12% for anaplasma. The other primary big pathogen we look for is Babesia, and that's at 3.7, and deer tick virus at 0.44. Last year, we had an overabundance of nymphs, it seemed like. We collected 3,200 nymphs, and that was 2,000 more than what we've collected in the past. That's the highest amount we've ever had. There you're looking at all the infection rates are just about half of what we see in the adult population. That's due to the biology of the tick, in that the nymphs only have one blood meal at this point in their life. The adults have two. That's why you can see the infection rates double in the adult populations. We just completed our adult survey for this past year, fall of 21 into the spring of 22 here. We collected nearly 5,000. And the infection rates, we looked at rarer pathogens this year. We didn't focus on Lyme. Anaplasma was one of those, and it actually seemed to decrease a little bit, around 3% decrease in the adult tick population. And some of the other rarer pathogens, we looked for a secondary Lyme disease pathogen, and we actually didn't find it in any of the tick species. So that's a good thing. That's more endemic in the upper Midwest, but we figured, hey, we might as well take a look at it and see if it is circulating even in small scale level in Pennsylvania, and it wasn't. And then deer tick virus, we're at 3%. I do have an asterisk there, and we'll touch on that when I get to the deer tick virus slide. Here you can see infection rates broken down by Department of Health regions. In the north central region here, 2 years ago we found 781 adult ticks, and they were tested. You're looking at right around the state average for the presence of Lyme disease at 58%, anaplasma at 12%, deer tick virus is 1.6%. Okay. So Lycoming County, from the beginning of this program in the fall of 2018 to the present, you can see that we've collected 83 immature stages. 78 of those were nipple ticks and were tested. The rest were larvae, and we do not test larvae because they haven't had a blood meal, and none of these pathogens, or very few of these pathogens, can pass from the mother to her, through her eggs to the larvae once they hatch. 380 adults. You can see the Lyme disease percentage of infection rates around 48%, up here 10%. For anaplasma, Babesia is at 3.3 and 1.7 for Borrelia miyamotoi. That is a different pathogen, different Borrelia species that causes heart tick relapsing fever. And since the beginning of the program, and most recently in the last couple of years, American dog ticks, you have 14 that have been collected up here. And we do not currently test for those. Some of the other things that we have been finding in the state, we have a new tick that was just discovered in 2017 in New Jersey that quickly became present in Pennsylvania. We found it in 2019 in Bucks County. And last year we found the first established populations of Gulf Coast ticks. That's another tick that is encroaching from the south. And we found that in Philadelphia. And of course, our deer tick virus. Here's the distribution of the Asian Longhorn tick. Again, we first found it in 2019 in Bucks County. By the end of that year, we had established populations in 6 counties, limited to the southeastern part of the state. And we've been adding counties year after year, tracking this tick. And we have it now out in the western part of the state in Allegheny County and all the Pittsburgh parks. It's there. It is in Washington County. However, the department hasn't found it yet through our program or the county programs. But a collaborator from the University of Pittsburgh has picked it up in Washington County. So we expect to find more this year. I don't know how north it's gonna come, but it would not surprise me if we have it here in Lycoming County in the next few years. And that tick is interesting in that there's never been a male found. The females don't need males to lay their eggs. So it's a unique tick, and it seems to be gaining quite a foothold in Pennsylvania. Okay. Last year, I mentioned we found the Gulf Coast tick. We found the first established populations in Pennsylvania at 2 sites in Philadelphia. We had a single specimen found in Bucks County and 4 specimens found in Franklin County. This tick has human health implications associated with it. It can transmit a pathogen that's very closely related to the Rocky Mountain spotted fever. It's in the same Rickettsia group as that, so it can cause problems. Luckily, it's not widely distributed throughout the state. However, the years to come, who knows how it might expand. This year, we're going to be focusing on determining how what its activity period looks like. That's and how it differs from its native range. Okay. So, deer tick virus. We first started looking at this in 2019. It's a rarer pathogen. We didn't expect it to be circulating a whole lot in the state, so we tested groups of ticks for this pathogen. We came up at, 5 positive samples from 3 counties: Wyoming County, York County, and Philadelphia County in 2019, with a minimum infection rate of 0.09%, so very low. In 2020, we decided to start testing all of our ticks individually for deer tick virus. That jumped to 10 counties where we found the presence of deer tick virus and 24 positive ticks. We did find hotspots, meaning that we had much more activity than what the state average would be in a certain localized spot. Bradford County and Schuylkill County. Bradford County, we had an infection rate of 11%. Schuylkill County, we had an infection rate of 4%. Again, higher than the state average of 0.6%, however, not inconsistent with what other states have found, neighboring states, when they find these little pockets of deer tick virus. So fast forward to our current season, which we've just wrapped up, 116 positives for deer tick virus ticks and 17 counties. So it does seem to be expanding. We found the hotspots, one in Clearfield County, of a 92% positive rate at a single site. Center County, 80%, and Wyoming County, 100% of the ticks were positive for deer tick virus. Excluding those hotspots, we had our state average is right where it was last year, 0.6%. We don't know why we had this huge increase in infection rate in these tick populations. We did subsequent sampling, and we found 1 or 2 additional ticks in Wyoming County, none in Center and none in Clearfield. So there's something going on, I think, in the host population there that's caused an explosion, and now it seemed to cool off, which is good for the citizens. The reason we're concerned about Powassan virus or deer tick virus is that it can, in these other pathogens, it takes around 24 hours for transmission to occur from the tick to us when that pathogen can get into us. Deer tick virus is different. It's just due to the biology of the virus and biology of the ticks. It's preloaded in salivary glands. As soon as it attaches, it can transmit in as little as 15 minutes. So that's why we were concerned. And the public health outcomes is more severe than Lyme and some of these other tick-borne pathogens. It can cause, some people can be asymptomatic. However, those people that do develop symptoms, 78% of those will develop a severe neurologic disorder and disease from this, maybe encephalitis, a swelling of the brain, and 10 to 12% of those will end in fatality. So it's concerning. So that's why we implemented some things that are different than what we've done before. We created signage to put in all of these different, these 3 hotspot sites to make the public aware. We've done a bunch of media interviews and presentations to bring awareness, not only to deer tick virus, but to our program and the work that we do. We've implemented the first control measures for ticks in the history of the state at the state level for state agencies. We use a product that is used readily in the mosquito control program that's also labeled for ticks to try to reduce the adult tick populations. We're also going to use tick tubes that is focusing on the nymphal stage of these ticks. The black-legged tick, it looks like a toilet paper tube filled with cotton that is impregnated with permethrin. The mice will take that back to their nest using the nesting materials and treating themselves and their young of ticks. So we're using a two-pronged approach to try to reduce the tick population, therefore reducing the risk to people at these specific areas where we've had trouble.
So you're putting those, I know you can make those at home.
You can.
And we just put some in the yard, and I think it said something like 20 tubes for an acre. You're putting them out over a large area?
Not larger than an acre is probably about the largest area that we're using, that we're treating, because this does seem to be pretty focused. So, you know, we have a couple hundred of them that we are going to be deploying at these couple sites. What we aren't going to do is get into a large-scale statewide effort for control of ticks. It's not feasible manpower-wise or financially. And again, 22 of these tubes per an acre, that's a lot to do. But in these special instances where we can be very targeted and very surgical with our approach, you know, this is something that we will do and try to reduce the risk at a certain site when you have something like deer tick virus that crops up.
Are there natural predators?
None that I'm aware of, actually. There's been some anecdotal discussions about possums. Through their grooming habits, they can eat hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ticks. I don't know if that's necessarily true. So maybe through grooming, you might have some ticks being eaten. But as far as a natural predator of ticks, I don't believe so.
You know, the not the chicken, but what's the other?
Guinea hen?
Yeah, the guinea hen. The guinea hens eat ticks, don't they?
I think they do.
And they pretty much will stay in your yard, I think, right?
Yes.
So you don't have to fence them in if
Right.
Yeah. I think they're a natural predator. Yeah. I don't know. I guess from the perspective of public policy, I realize it may cost money, but we're also spending a fortune on the healthcare side when people get Lyme's disease, right? I mean, then we have people sometimes aren't able to work. I wonder if it's, I know that's further up the feeding chain up at DEP, but I wonder if they ought to look at doing something before it gets to the point where it's, I mean, those hot spots show up in 3 counties, right? When they start showing up in 25, here's the other part of it. I think that if Pennsylvania gets a reputation as a state that's really overrun with ticks, it's going to affect the tourism. So you might want to pass that up the feeding chain at DEP, that it's something to consider. The cost of the program, I know you have to ultimately get the state legislators to buy into it, but we can certainly talk. I think long-term prevention now is going to prevent a whole bunch of problems down the road.
Yeah, and that's, you know, the tick population is always going to be here in Pennsylvania. We're not going to get rid of the ticks.
Right.
So the messaging remains the same, whether we have a more dangerous pathogen out there like deer tick virus or Lyme disease that affects tens of thousands of people every single year. Messaging remains the same. You can't go outside and roll around in the woods anymore like I used to when I was a kid and you never thought about ticks. We don't want to discourage people from enjoying the outdoors. Get outdoors. We were talking about mental health earlier. That's a big help with mental health. Get out there and enjoy the outdoors. We don't want to discourage people. We just want people to be cognizant about ticks and the pathogens that they can transmit. Lyme disease, 1 out of 2 adults will give you Lyme disease, or the potential is there. So personal protection is key when enjoying the outdoors. So take some of these precautions. You know, wear the permethrin on your clothing that can kill the ticks on contact when they crawl on you. Wear repellent that is EPA approved, DEET or others, oil of lemon eucalyptus or picaridin or other effective repellents against ticks. Wear light colored clothing when they're outside. It's easier to see them on light colored clothing than it is wearing blue jeans and a dark shirt. Shirts into pants, your pants and your socks creates a barrier so that the ticks can't have access to your skin, very readily. And then things to do when you come home. Not only do tick checks on yourselves, which is very important, but also your pets. If your pet jumps in bed with you, has ticks, those ticks can easily come off and get onto you. So tick checks for you and your companion animals is another thing that is very important when coming back home. Putting your clothes in the dryer on high heat will kill any ticks that are still lingering inside your clothing. take a shower. And then lastly, if you find an embedded tick, go ahead and remove that as soon as you can. The longer it is in you, the more chance there is of being a transmission of a pathogen from that tick. So how do you remove a tick? Vaseline, you light a match behind them, they'll back out, nail polish over them. No, those aren't good methods. What you want to do is remove it as soon as possible. Get a fine tip pair of tweezers, grasp them by the head or the mouth parts as close to the skin as possible, and pull them out. You know, wash that area off, and then watch for symptoms, and then get to your doctor as soon as possible if symptoms would occur.
How about Dawn detergent? You put the Dawn detergent on, does that track pull it out?
I don't think so. You know, we recommend removing it as soon as possible, because the longer that tick is in you, waiting for it to back out, it increases the chance of a transmission of a pathogen.
You know, Mr. Boyer, don't misunderstand me. We're not going to eliminate ticks, right? They're part of the outdoors. But I guess what I'm most concerned about is the increase in the number of hotspots when in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
You know, and just in terms of protecting our county and other counties. So.
Yeah. And that's all I have. I'll take any other questions you might have.
No, this has been very helpful, and we appreciate.
Very important issue that people have to be educated on. And the main thing is take the time to check when you get home.
Absolutely.
Check your kids, check your pets, check yourself.
Yep.
What is your job title at DEP?
I'm the DEP's tick specialist. I manage the tick surveillance and testing program.
Okay, statewide.
Yes.
Okay. You know, one of the things New York State does is, I have relatives in New York, which is where I'm from, and they actually give out for free little tick kits. And it's in a little pouch, and it has a fine tweezer, and it has a magnifying glass, and has a little instructional booklet on ticks and how to remove them and stuff. And I don't know whether DEP is considered doing that in our state parks. And we need, you're dead on right. We have to educate people, right? And they need to check their kids. I've taken ticks off my kids. My wife's taken them off. We've taken a number off the pets. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just from being in the backyard.
Right.
So.
And we have, you know, coordination efforts with DCNR and Department of Health. I know they are doing a lot. The Department of Health is doing a lot of educational work, and they have similar things that you're talking about. It's like a tick kit.
Yeah.
But as far as distribution goes, I know they're doing that through their community health offices and the community health nurses, who are also doing presentations and educating the public. But that's something I would definitely take back as a means to, you know, educate further.
You know, even if the state made them available to the counties, and the counties kicked in a little bit of money to help out, you know, it would go a long way towards getting our public engaged. So thanks for taking the time to come see us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. And to Matt from Conservation District for arranging it, and we have other DEP. Maybe you can introduce the other DEP folks here with us.
Sure. We have Megan Lehman. She works in the office. She's the community relations coordinator. And Lisa Mead. She is the legislative director for the North Central region.
Well, we thank you all for taking the time to do this for us.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
Yep. All right, I'm going to go to action items. We already did 5.1, so we're going to skip to 5.2. That's me. I have items 5.2 through 5.6. So I'll start with the first item. It's vote to approve change order number 1 and 2 with turnkey construction for the construction of an employee health and wellness center. So change order 1 is specifically to the fireproofing issue on the second floor. And closing in those steel I-beams. And then the second change order request is for the supply and the install of the elevator shaft, that they're doing the framing and blocking of that.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
A second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
The next item I have is vote to approve agreement with Ingenuity Mechanical Contractors. This contract is with the prison, and it's helped to replace the condensing units and evaporators in the walk-in cooler and freezer at the prison.
Okay, this is a 2022 budget item.
Yes.
So, motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So carried.
The next item I have is vote to approve the 2022-2023 Radiation Emergency Response Fund grant agreement, and that's in the amount of $5,876.
And again, this is also a budgeted item. And I have a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All fair side?
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
The next item is vote to approve the emergency resolution, which is 2022-11 for resource management services. As you're aware, their hauling truck broke down, and as a result of that, they still are required to haul the leachate, so this will buy them time to do that until we get a formal bid out.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All fair side?
Aye.
So carried.
The next item is vote to approve resolution 2022-10, and this is in regards to the mental health system.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, for discussion, this is a resolution that the county commissioners are going to ask for appropriate funding to support the crumbling mental health system in the state budget. We recently spoke with Clinton County, who at a joiner meeting that Commissioner Snyder had brought this up, that the state funding has stayed level since 2005. We have continued to have mental health issues. They've closed down a lot of the group homes throughout the counties, and as a result, many of these individuals end up in our county prisons, and they languish away in the prison system. These are individuals that need support of the mental health system. One thing through COVID, we've identified that through the pandemic, we're going to have more and more individuals that are being identified with mental health issues. So it's time that the state budget and the legislators look back at this issue, revisit it and examine it. And so we plan on issuing this resolution. We'll vote on it here, and then we'll send a letter to our legislators, and then we plan on a bus trip with other counties. Clinton County, I'm sure some other counties will be joining us. We'll be going down to speak to the legislators in Harrisburg and champion for more funding regarding our mental health system, which is a major crisis in our state.
Yeah, this is a CCAP priority legislative agenda item also. County commissioners.
It was listed number one back prior to the pandemic. We had 5 priorities, and this was listed as number 1 at the time.
And the problem is that in 2012, when the Commonwealth cut $84 million from the budget that went to counties, that cut, which was 10% of the cut of the budget for mental health, has never been restored. So we have a multiple problem. We have the problem of the pandemic increasing the demand, and we have the problem of inflation, and then we also have the problem that for 10 years there's been no change in that cut. So the money doesn't buy the same services. You know, over 10 years, the value of the dollar just through normal ebb and flow, whether it's 1%, 2% inflation, it's not the same that it buys. The reason why constituents should care is because at the end of the day, the county has to provide for mental health services. It's our responsibility. And the state needs to step up and recognize that when they cut us at that level, it forces us to either cut services or to increase property taxes. That's a simple.
They cut in 2012, but they haven't increased since 2005.
Right, that's right. Good point. They haven't increased since 2005, and then they cut in 2012. The bottom line is that there's been a massive cut, and we see it in our prison, because we see the prisons across the Commonwealth becoming basically places to hold people with mental health issues who are not really getting the treatment they need. So on the one hand, it's both inhumane, right? If someone has, imagine that you had a serious kidney problem and you were just put in the jail, or you had a serious heart condition and we put you in the jail. But because we have such a cultural issue about how we look at mental health, we don't regard it. So the other thing is it makes it dangerous for the prison guards, our correctional officers, because when they have people who are seriously mentally ill in the prison, they don't necessarily have the training or the tools to help that person. So this is very good. What's interesting is that the Human Service Advisory Board is a group of volunteers from the community who oversee what the joinder does, in the sense that they help point out where the joinder can direct services. And that group had said, we need to do something. And then simultaneously, we got this resolution from Commissioner
in Warren County.
in Warren County, asking us to sign on. And of course, the three of us knew that it was a CCAP initiative. So it's a very important issue, and we hope that the public will get engaged. Call your state rep, your state senator, your governor's office, and say, look, please help put mental health funding back to where it is, where it should be.
You know, I have an issue with this. I don't have an issue with the mental health. Okay, we understand that, and it's critical, and it does affect county government. I have an issue with how our state is run. When we're talking, I think it was 2019 or 2020, our state government borrowed $2 billion to operate. Okay, nobody wants to raise taxes, but they borrow on the debt. Okay, we can't do this. Okay, we have to stay within the amount of money that we generate from taxes. And when I've talked about the spokes on the wheels, I mean this. This is, you know, we have issues with mental health. Then we deal with recovery, and we're dealing with so many different things, our children and our youth. And we've got to change the paradigm of penalizing departments who don't utilize their entire budget. And if they don't spend the money, guess what? They won't get it back the next year. We have to stop that. We have to reward people who are, for one reason or another, did not utilize their entire budget from the state. We have to reward them to say, hey, don't create any other programs. I was involved in one where I saw, wait a second, what are you doing? Why are you supporting this program when it wasn't in your budget? Well, it was because you had to spend the money or you lose it. We need to stop that, because I believe that if we cut the waste out of these programs, and I say this as a county commissioner because we are responsible for mental health, okay, then we can utilize those funds instead of borrowing more money or taxing people. Okay, it's a tough one for me. They cut it in 2012. Why? What was it? Why did they cut human services? You know, I'll guarantee you it wasn't totally because of our rural counties, but they obviously saw a tremendous amount of waste and abuse.
So can I just...
Yeah, please.
So with all due respect, I don't think it's that they saw waste. There's no constituency on the mental health side. There's not enough constituents clamoring, saying to elected officials, don't cut mental health. And part of it is because people don't want to acknowledge that in their families there are people with mental health issues, because there is a taboo about it.
But we agree on that.
No, I know we do. I know we agree. And listen, there's no question, we should always not waste money. We shouldn't waste food. We shouldn't waste water. We shouldn't waste money. We shouldn't waste anything. And I agree, and I agree with you on this policy. Like at the county, we don't do that. If a department saves money, we don't say next year we're going to cut your budget. We might say, well, you don't necessarily need for X, Y, Z, but maybe there's a different program.
We should say, here's a bonus. Thank you.
Right. Right.
You know?
So, but I think really with this resolution, it's gotten to the point that the state legislators need to step up and realize, and the administration, and I understand they have a difficult job and they're trying to balance a budget and so forth. But I think that it's gotten to the point where we just are going backwards. We're creating, you know how much, you, Commissioner, know how much money we've spent on sending people out of the prison when we had overcrowding. All those years when you grappled with that, when it was especially a problem.
It was over $1 million.
Yeah, and a lot of those people had mental health issues. And so are we shooting ourselves in the foot by not taking care of people with mental health issues outside the prison system? But I understand your concern, and we got to continue to work on that. you know?
And my approach on this resolution is to request for appropriate funding. And it's not to ask for taxes to be raised to increase funding, because Harrisburg doesn't need another dime. They don't need another dime. They need to learn how to spend their money, prioritize what's right. And that's the issue down there. And this is an issue that needs to be addressed. And if they prioritize their money, this is a population that is often forgotten, that they just cast off to the side, and they'll go to some other issue that there's a lobbyist there for them, and they don't have that as a luxury in this situation. So I'm advocating that they put the appropriate funding in place, and they find it within their budget right now, and that's by shifting the priorities. Like CCAP made this a priority, and they've said they're pushing for it. Hopefully they are.
You know, I think it's important, if you look at the 6 whereas down on the first page, it says, whereas the Center for Rural Progress published a report on suicide trends and prevention in rural Pennsylvania counties and schools, and key findings included the steep rise in suicides in Pennsylvania over the past 2 decades, and that the increase was greater in rural communities. And we have seen that in our own community. If you talk to the coroner, we've seen an increase in suicides, and we've seen an increase in suicides among younger people. So, and also just the paragraph after that discusses how Governor Wolf's initial budget has an increase of, you know, a certain amount of money in additional funds in county mental health base funds on top of the federal funds that come. So I don't think we are casting aspersions or blaming any particular representative or senator or governor, but what we're saying is that there's a crisis, and not providing proper funding doesn't necessarily solve the crisis. All it does is pushes the problem to other places, to our prison system, to our adult probation office, to our juvenile probation office, and other places. So we hope that the people in Harrisburg will take part to this resolution.
And it will be our next pandemic. Between the fentanyl coming across the border, between the mental health issues and alcohol and drug issues identified from the pandemic, this will be our next pandemic unless we address it. Okay.
All right, next.
What we have to vote on. So a motion?
I'll move to approve.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So carried.
The next 3 items, Nancy Ackley's here.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a nice, clean original for you for Chester.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning, Commissioners. First one I will do is 5.7. This is a new contract with Gillum Psychological and Counseling Services. We're running out of places to get psychological exams for our kids that need them. So this is a new one we found that we're going to utilize.
Okay. Have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Where are they located?
They are on Washington Boulevard here in Williamsport.
Right, there's the address.
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now, I'd like to say one thing.
Yeah.
You know, the internet is a killer as far as I'm concerned. That phone that these kids are using, you're talking about mental health, suicides, it is traced, it is tracked. This is what's hurting our youth. And a gentleman in a meeting I was with a couple weeks ago, you know, he said something really important. He says, yeah, we have to teach our children, you know, how to deal with life. But they also need to learn how to cope. You're going to run into adversity, okay? And instead of blaming it on somebody, deal with it, cope with it. And I don't think we see that in the programs that we're getting. We need to say, hey, just toughen up. You know, America is getting weaker.
I disagree with that.
And you can.
I think maybe what you're talking about is trying to help people develop resiliency. You know, the term, you say
Yeah,
cope.
resiliency is a good term.
You know, but trying to help youth develop mechanisms for dealing with life's problems, because life is filled with problems, right? No matter where you are. And the question is, do we help our kids develop the skills? Hopefully some of these programs in JPO help them develop, like the YES program,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Youth empowerment, right? And so, but you have a point there. I think that sometimes saying just tough up doesn't necessarily help give them the tool, but you're talking about giving them the tools, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, you had a constituent call and said, my neighbor is throwing garbage out, right? And they call government. They're calling government. Well, they're just leaving it outside. You know, I said, well, what are their names? Did you talk to them about it? No. Well, what are their names? Well, I don't know. This has been going on for 2 years, and you don't know the name of your neighbor. These are the things that I'm talking about. People are they're dependent upon government for things that government shouldn't even be called for, you know? Yeah. I'm not sorry.
So, you know, can I just make, you know what the problem is, Commissioner? No, I mean, in all seriousness, you might...
Throw money at it will be...
No, I didn't say throw money at it. I think part of what's happening today is people are so concerned about, they go to their neighbor's house to say, hey, excuse me, do you think you could not throw your garbage out? And the neighbor shoots them. And I don't mean because they shouldn't have guns and stuff like that, but unfortunately there's a lot of stuff going on, so people are looking to other places. But you're right, we have to, you know, you could try the passive resistance, pick up the garbage every day, let your neighbor watch you pick it up for 3-4 days, and I bet they come out and say, wow, sorry.
Government's involved in too much, and the bottom line is you can handle a lot of things on your own, respectfully, civilly, and do so. And we get some strange phone calls, and that's one right there where if you don't know the name of your neighbor after 2 years, even your first name, and you can't even walk over and ask them to stop it, and you got to call a government official to do so, there's an issue there.
Well, keep things positive. Let's keep moving ahead.
Motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
See, 5.8 is an amendment to the agreement with Dinges for legal counseling for our juveniles. We're just going to extend it from 7/1/22 out to 6/30 of 23 at the same rate scale as before.
Okay, and as the item listed previously above, this is also a budgeted item?
Yep.
So no motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So carried.
And then the last one, 5.9, is an amendment to Chester County Youth Centers. That's our detention bed that we use. We're going to extend it out. They want to extend it out from ending on June 30th, 2022 to September 30th of 2022.
Okay.
And be ready because it's going up.
Like everything else.
Yeah. And there's not much we can do about it because detention beds are at a premium anymore.
Yes. Okay, I have a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have
Thank
a good
you,
day.
Nancy. Yep, thank you for what you do.
The next item, 5.10, Austin Daly, I believe he's on the line.
Austin, you still with us?
I'm still here, yep.
Okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. Today I have for you a vote to approve change order number 2 with Walnut Construction for the bridge bundling program. This change order is in the amount of $12,483.48. The increase is to accommodate for a work that is required as part of the water line in Loyalsock Township. This will install valves on both ends of the water line and includes the work such as, cutting into the road, refilling it, and maintaining the existing condition. This isn't an improvement or anything. It's just a required change since we're slightly altering the course of the water line and the flow.
And we had funds in the program, right? There were funds there.
Yeah, we're able to absorb the cost of this within the program budget. It's just the fact that it's outside of what was initially bid in the construction contract with Walnut back in, I think that was February.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So carried. Thank you, Austin.
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right, so we're in Commissioner comment.
I have two. This week is PA Small Business Week. There's 1.1 million businesses, small businesses in the state of Pennsylvania that employ 2.5 million people. And we would encourage people to visit their small businesses and support them in our communities. They are the heart and soul of our communities. These are our mom and pop operations that keep us going, and we thank them for being in our towns and cities, and we support them. We ask you to go out and support them also. And then last night we had the opportunity, the three of us had an opportunity to be at the Brotherhood Alliance dinner and to share in the celebration of several individuals that received awards throughout the community for their giving back. And the theme of the evening was that all of us are given talents from God, and to please go out and share those talents with whoever you run into on a daily basis and make a difference. Whether that's just stopping and speaking with someone, or giving them a smile, or giving them a helping hand. Please take your time and to give back in some way with the talents that you've been blessed with. And it was a very enjoyable evening.
And that was good, because I was going to mention that as well, because it was very powerful that, may I not waste another day with the negativity. Let me serve your will. And a great evening, great speakers, and the people that were awarded those, whatever.
Well deserved.
Well deserved.
Yeah. Anything from either commissioner?
So, on last Thursday, I had an opportunity to visit the Lycoming Career and Technology Center for their open house, and there was 6 areas that it's out in Hughesville, by Hughesville, and I know you all have been there also. Early childhood, culinary, automotive, computer science, healthcare, and criminal justice. And it's a really impressive way for our high school students who don't think they want to go on to a 4-year school, or to get in school and get an opportunity to get some training. And I'm hoping that we can work with them to try to do some internship programs here. For example, in the automotive, it's hard because you have high school kids, right? But we have places where if we can get them just exposed, for example, even if they do, and we do tours at the landfill, if they come down and they spend some time in a program in the automotive, it's hard you can't put them on equipment and so forth, but the automotive shop is very much like the automotive shop up at the Technology Center. Of course, Williamsport has a similar technology center. So, and we've talked about trying to put together some internships. I think if we can do this, it's a way to help us get back in the pipeline on those 63 jobs that we see. Correctional officers, you need a high school degree. So if we can bring those kids down and get them exposed into the ones who were at the criminal justice, they each did a different thing. When you went around to the open house, they were doing fingerprints at the criminal justice. At the culinary, they were making some fantastic food. And so it's a real opportunity for us to recruit and to get those high school kids. And, some of them may come in and start as a correctional officer and eventually stay with us, decide they're going to go back, get a 2-year degree or some other degree and stay with us to APO. So that was a good, and my hat's off to the folks out there for a great job that they do.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner, anything else? Public? Morning, John.
Good morning, Commissioners. I would also like to say Jersey Shore basically has the same what Hughesville has in Williamsport. And many moons ago, there was one central location for everybody to come to technical low-tech school for, which was the old WAC. And I think that's one place to be cut down on school taxes, and that is to combine and have a center where everybody can be bused in, because you're duplicating three alike things within about, 15, 20-mile radius.
Well, you know, John, and along the similar lines, if you go, for example, whether it's Jersey Shore or wherever, you can't come out with an LPN degree, right? You come out with a nursing assistant certification. But why can't the Department of Education in Harrisburg look at saying, look, instead of having a kid graduate from high school and then spend 2 years getting the LPN, if someone knows that that's what they want to do, get them that LPN in high school. They do that in other countries, in European countries. You know, they get them in. And so, John, sort of similar to what you're saying, it's a way for us to get kids who know what they want to do at an earlier age getting the training, so that they're not, because it's expensive for a working family to have a kid graduate from high school and then go and spend 1 or 2 years getting an LPN certificate. So,
but he's totally right.
Yeah, and yeah.
Good point, John.
Good point, John.
Okay, I've heard a lot about voter fraud. There was a politician during the 2020 election who said that the only way the election was going to be fair if they won, quoted by Donald Trump many, many times during the election. And I would like to point out about Donald Trump, and I'm being political today, I'm going to be right up front. Donald Trump, in the 4 years that he was in office, according to fact checks, made over 3,500 false comments or lies, or whatever you want to call it. That averages to 21 a day. And a man concerning with voter fraud, Bill Barr, the Attorney General at the time, in December the 2nd, 2020, come out and said at a news conference that Donald Trump's allegations of massive voter fraud were false, absolutely false. How am I supposed to believe a guy who has lied his whole 4 years in office and deceived people? And we also had a gentleman who was here, who left, who said our court systems are corrupt because they won't hear any, quote, evidence submitted to them about voter fraud. I would like to point out to the gentleman and everybody else here, the local federal judge who handed down a decision in November about what Rudy Giuliani and them had. Basically, the judge wrote a 22-page finding, really reaming out what Giuliani and them said that supposedly brought, which was everything was without merit, and that's the way it was for the other 57 cases. So I'm sitting here. Yeah, there is minor voter fraud with this, but for groups in this county that are especially located in the Savoy Plaza, supposedly getting drafts around or whatever, petitions about having re-auditing the voter count here in Lycoming County. That's a waste of time. You know what it is? I went through one recount here for the judges, and there were 2 votes off, and that was it. So anybody that entertains the idea of wanting another rehash of the 2020 election, it's a waste of money to even bring it up here at all. Okay? Shouldn't have been done, Tony.
That's good for your opinion, not for the opinions on the other side.
Yeah, but it's still.
And remember, massive. So, unmassive is okay? What is that? What does that massive mean?
Well,
no
you know who I'm referring to, okay? That's just a waste of time with it. As I said, we've had this judge, the locally that did this, federal judge, has been a Republican conservative for years and threw it all out because there was no merit to it all, what was presented. And that's the way it was in 57 cases.
But you're right, 21,000 They did a sampling of 21,000 votes here in Lycoming County for those judges.
23.
23.
Yeah, I was there for the recount.
And
Witness,
there
it
was
two-
three errors.
I think,
which is,
two or three. And I sat there with some Republicans that were watching, and I was from the Democrats.
Yeah.
With it. And I know that we do have a broad drug problem, and probably part of the drug problem in this country, and I will admit it, being a Vietnam veteran, and that my generation has probably brought a lot of the drug problems to the United States with the free drugs that flowed in Vietnam and that. And I can honestly say I didn't do it, but there were a lot of people did. But I kind of relate like with marijuana. If you legalize it and have certain controls on it, then it might not get laced with fentanyl and other things to get people hooked. I relate it to what my grandfather used to say about Prohibition. Prohibition made more crooks out of honest people than anything else in their time. And I've also heard and hear from people concerning the coronavirus and that and shots. Well, you're going to try to make me take them with everything. That's a violation of my constitutional rights. Maybe we're violating those people's constitutional rights that want to smoke marijuana if they want to. You know, with it. You know, and I've heard the far right. It's gotten pretty bad in this country. You know, when the far rightists disagree with people, I've seen our CIA trashed. I've seen parts of our military be trashed, along with the FBI, and even our medical profession concerning coronavirus with 19, with the attacks on Dr. Fauci's, our physicians, and everything else. One party wants to say we want government to be smaller, but yet we want to party wants to pass legislation for about everything to govern us too. Also, okay. Thank you for the day.
Thanks,
Thank you, Jim.
But I'm going to say this again. When Jack McKernan was here, and I come when Jack McKernan was here, Jack McKernan never really got political about anything, but you two have, and it's the wrong place to do it.
Thank you, John.
You gotta stay right.
Tom, come on up.
All right. I had to feed the parking meter. I should have left a little sooner, but made it. That's Tom Adams from Williamsport. Sad to see him leave. Hey, you know, this is one thing I've been thinking of. There's a movement going on where people try to get people from opposing sides to sit down and start talking to each other. You know, and that's what we need in the country. And yeah, we're going to have our differences, but we don't have to be at each other's throats. You know, this is what happens. You know, and it comes from people that want to divide us, and that's the bad thing. I can agree with some of the things you're saying. I don't agree that I think there's massive voter fraud, but just one fraud is too much, and I agree with that. And I go, like I said before, I go a little bit back and forth on the recount here because the fraud's in the mail-in, and you can't. How you gonna recount that when the envelope's gone, right? Once the envelope's gone, you can't prove anything. Even if they all look the same, if they all look Xerox, then you have to go through a whole deal. Or what are you going to do? And that's what Joe and Sean Gale are saying. You know, they're both running for offices in the state, and they're saying they know that there's just big problems with it. It's the mail-in, and this is what the people that supported that are the really crooks because they didn't want to do anything until midsummer last year. Then they start saying, well, we're going to look into this, and I don't think they're serious at all. I mean, it's just a ploy, you know, to get elected. So, you know, and I think you might be able to find some things. Then you got to clean up the voter list. They have to be kept clean. That's a big thing. But some of the other stuff, you know, once they're separated, once you can't prove who that voter was, you know, you're really grasping at straws. So, you know, it's not an easy place to be in. And I wish I had mentioned this when you, with the public comments on the agenda items. I hadn't realized, brain wasn't working best, but when these people were here for the parole and the law enforcement, you know, and even y'all, we pray for you. You know, we had our prayer meeting last Friday, and we're all being prayed for. And you're all ministers of God according to the Bible. You know, government is an institution of God, and anyone who's in government office works for government, parole officers, law enforcement, emergency services are all ministers of God. And that's where I think a lot of our mental health issues are from, an acknowledgement, not an acknowledgement of God, and not the I guess the influence of that in our communities and in our government, and to make that a stronger point. You know, like you were saying with the civics not being taught across the country, we have to make sure they are kept up in the history. But you know, some of the mental health issues, is it because the pharmaceutical companies, with all their influence and the strings are pulling it with the people in the higher positions in office, you know, that they don't want to pass a certain law, they don't want to do certain things because they want to sell their drugs. And that, once you get people on these, even the prescription drugs, that causes a lot of problems. And locking healthy people up because of supposed pandemic, I just don't buy it. You know, that's not healthy for anyone. And you know, anything with, but when he was talking about marijuana, I mentioned this last week, that stuff isn't to be played with. You know, they want to think about legalizing that, they're causing more problems. And it's easy, that's an easy thing to lace other drugs with. You know, it's foolish, because it'll happen more, because they'll say, well, I got some marijuana, I can put this in with it, and it'll be an even bigger high. You know, and that's what's going to happen. You know, it's going to be more available to kids. You know, it's just not good. And then you talk about mental health problems, and it'll really explode, I think. So, you know, we can go back and forth on I still think the judge was wrong, because I think there's a movie 2,000 Mules is out by Dinesh D'Souza. You know, guy's fantastic fellow for freedom, born in India, came over here to seek freedom, and you know, he's just an excellent investigator, or author, or whatever label. But thank you for all your work, and just hope we can continue to fight the evil and stand up for the good.
Thank you, and I appreciate those prayers also.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Perfect.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay, we've concluded our agenda, and meeting will be, next meeting will be scheduled for May the 12th, right here in this room at 10 a.m. next Thursday. Thank you, and enjoy your day. And happy Mother's Day to those mothers.
I want to thank you all for attending, staying here.
It's like it's like we're taping a television show.
It's like when Kramer had the Griffin show on his apartment.
Yeah.
He had the Merv Griffin set.
I nominate Scott to be our retention.
Hey.
And recruiting. I'm just telling you, it's a tough job. No,
I know, but when you said it, I was like, I mean, the way Tony approached